Let us know when we're live, bud.
Yep, and then I'll look on here. Cool.
Awesome. Very good.
Hey, everybody.
And share this
Oh, yay.
personal here. Oh,
Okay, perfect.
Please. I can't stand these ads and like, stories that pop up.
Yeah.
Post. Like, what are you doing right now?
How's everybody doing tonight?
What's going on, everybody?
We are live here. I'm going to see if I can see
You
any
and I
comments.
are live. I got a question for you.
Yes.
Are you awake?
No.
I know we're live, but are you awake?
Well, thanks to Pastor Brian playing some NSYNC.
A little bit of NSYNC.
Now I'm better.
bit of NSYNC.
How many of you like NSYNC as well?
Oh,
Hello.
You know it. You absolutely know it.
So now I'm
All right, so we were just
more
talking
awake.
about who the original band leader of NSYNC was before Justin Timberlake.
No, I think he was always.
I don't think he was because he was too young. We gotta work this one out.
We gotta find that out.
Because he was so
Serious
young,
questions.
and I think they were like prepping him to be. But then if you think about it,
Okay.
you know, an 18-year-old like
Right.
being attracted to a 14-year-old in that culture, like women, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It was just kind of weird. Like he was 14 or 15 when he started, right?
I don't know. I don't know
He
that
was
much
so
about
young.
NSYNC.
Yeah. JT, well, he was so young.
Yes.
But there's JC, right?
Oh yeah, JC.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell
He
me-
was on NSYNC as well.
Who's JC?
Hold on. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can see any comments on Facebook. I don't know. Do I have to do? Am I doing something?
No, you're not doing anything wrong. Just
Okay.
people aren't logged on yet.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
What's up, Instagram?
Hey.
I forgot we were on Instagram. Here I
What's
am. I'm just
up,
trying to
everybody?
get
Thanks
to
for
our Hill
joining
City
us.
stuff here to save it. And I never
Hey,
type with
Ellie.
my pencil like this, but
Hey, Mark.
I might.
Hey, Brian.
Let's
Hey,
start this. It's easy.
Lojo. We're glad you
What's
guys are joining us
up?
tonight.
Boom.
I am having a hard time waking up. I
Yeah.
know it's only 8 o'clock,
You're wide
but
awake. You're wide awake. I know you are. I know you are. Oh, look
we
at
haven't
this.
done a table talk for a while.
No.
We see you on
We
Insta,
started
Pastor
this-
Ben. What's up?
Bella, we started this a long time ago.
We did,
Yeah.
just out of our
And,
living
you
room.
know, the times have changed a lot. Like when you would
Right.
go live way back, you know, when we started 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
we would go live. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people shared and like all over the place.
Mhm.
And now we're like, I just want to watch it when I want to watch it. I
Yeah,
don't wanna jump
true.
on and everything like that. We'll get some interaction going tonight.
Cool.
But like, hey, the majority of people who are going to watch this, they're going to actually check this a little bit later. Do
Awesome.
you have any idea what we're talking about tonight? What do you think? It's really going to be up to you.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm
jeez.
just kidding.
He does this every once in a while. Throws us.
I'm a maverick, you know?
Yes.
That's the way I like to do it.
So I'm going to ask you some questions.
We'll
We're going to
predict the
talk and,
index.
and hang out. If anybody has any questions or anything you guys want to chat about or anything.
Yeah, and I'm just going to
let us
let you
know.
kind of moderate and understand this whole area right here.
Okay,
you know
cool.
What I mean? So,
I'm not a very good moderator. I'm going to do my best.
oh no, you're really
I'm going to
great.
do my best.
Good.
Okay, let's see.
Whoa, Instagram.
Hi, Abigail.
What's up?
What's up? Okay,
Man,
cool.
It's good to see people on Instagram. Abigail, Abigail Cura.
Yeah.
What's up, Ab?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Well, we're glad to be back on Insta Live.
Okay, so we started doing this 5
Facebook
years
Live.
ago to start the
We
church.
did.
Remember
We
that?
did.
That was
Mhm.
fun. We did that in our living room.
Right?
In the house that we lived in was in Zeleenople,
Mhm.
like kind of. It was like Jackson Township in between Cranberry, Zeleenople. And we would set up with a little iPad, and
Right.
it had like I had like those big studio lights, like these ones right here, but they weren't nearly as good.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have Caleb and Brian
I
back
know.
here.
It's
and,
like a for real setup.
this is a
Just
legit
like
thing.
he's holding our hand
It's
up
a
and
legit
taking.
thing. I know, right? You remember the first time we did this? I didn't have any stand for the iPad, so I
Right.
used. You remember what I used?
Mm-mm.
Come on.
Books, maybe.
All right, somebody comment. Guess what I used? If you had to do a live from a stool, what would you use in your
Mm.
house? That
don't
is in
remember.
most houses. I'm gonna give it 5 seconds.
Good times. It's been a journey, huh?
Anybody have an answer for that on Instagram yet?
Oh, Ellie
see, I
said
know
put
there's
him
a
in the
little-
hot seat, Lauren. No mercy.
Oh yeah, put me in the hot seat. Yep.
Help me, Ellie. You're good at asking questions.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you have some questions that I could ask him too.
Oh yeah.
Aw, and Mark wants to know when you're bringing Noah up to fish again. That's so awesome.
Oh, what's up, Mark?
How's everybody doing? Give us a life update. How's everybody doing? Anybody?
Yeah, they got to answer that question though too,
Oh, okay.
because I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to take you back there for a moment.
Gotcha. I don't remember.
It was an ironing board.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was an ironing board.
Hey, you know what I mean? You have to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. That's
I
100%
don't know how to
accurate.
do that.
Don't worry about it too much.
Okay.
Brian will let us know if any good questions come through.
Brian,
you're
will
on
you let us
Facebook,
know on
Instagram,
Facebook? Thanks, buddy.
yeah, he's absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Hey, you just want to get started?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump into it. I am like so ready, and you are so tired. And I get it because
I'm
you
wide
have,
awake.
No, but listen, you have slept not very good lately,
Yes.
and you're a load with the kids' homework.
Yes.
Like I've been jumping in to help with the kids, and I had one of those moments. I
Yeah.
think, you know,
Do I look tired?
no, you don't. Well, I know you. Your aura is not tired, but I know you so well. I can
Yes.
tell you're tired.
Yeah.
You got that look
Well,
in
it's
your
weird because I think like I get tired around this time.
Yeah, you know, that's it.
You put in a long,
Well,
hard day and you're
you've always
ready.
been though.
I
You've
know.
always
That's so
been.
true.
You've always been.
That's so true.
That has
Oh
nothing to
my
do with
goodness.
age.
It'll be good. It'll be great.
No, but I remember when we started doing this, I would like chug like 2 cups of coffee
I
right before it'd be
know.
like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock
Ready
at
to
night.
go.
Yeah.
Now we're like water and magnesium.
Yeah. Water, magnesium,
Uh-huh.
Palmer's. You know?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
All right, come on, let's get it. I'm ready. You ready?
So, yeah, sure. We're just
Awesome.
going to roll with it. No one's asking questions, so I'm going to have to.
No, and that's we haven't laid the groundwork for that, so we
Okay.
can't. Like, if you guys
Lay-
want to throw some things out there, just have us, you know, hey, ask a question about whatever. Like, seriously, it could be
Yeah.
Bible, it could be, you know, theology. I had somebody last night, a college student, asking about creation versus evolution. I mean, like, I went for it. I'm always good with questions.
You're
on the
really
spot.
good at answering
I really
questions on the
love that.
spot.
I prefer that,
Yeah,
you know, because if I think through it too much, it's not like, you know.
from the heart or
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah.
prefer to just kind of be from the
Yeah,
heart and,
awesome.
you know, keep my head full. It's like kind of a fun challenge for me.
Yeah. We have a
So-
lot going on
And
right
also, like, if I can't come up with a good answer, one of the smartest human beings is in the world, and actually, I'm going to say 2 of them, in Brian and
That's
Caleb
true.
as well.
They're
so
in-
we can
they're in
get
the
them.
room.
I can phone a friend
now. Yeah.
or 2.
I'm
You're
like
in the
thinking
room.
about which way do we want to go tonight? You know, do we want to go deep spiritual and ask you some of those questions? Do we want to go like I was
Now-
thinking kind of a couple
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what are you most excited about at Hill
Mhm.
City this year?
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
then also asking you some other questions.
I don't need to know the plan. I mean, that's good. You can ask me whatever. I think it's
Because we
really
have a lot
fun.
rolling out, like it's exciting times. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, we really do.
so we have
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah,
The-
we could talk a little bit
The
about that
point
if you want.
class, yeah,
But like the why, not the what. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I wouldn't want this to be like a big commercial.
yeah,
You know,
big commercial. Yeah, right.
like
right,
that's not the
right.
point of this.
No, right.
You know that.
Yes.
That's that. I'm saying that to everybody else. but,
Yes.
like we've talked about that. Like
yeah.
we want you to come to this.
Right.
Like oh, it's like a crummy commercial. You
Yeah.
know?
No, we don't
Ovaltine.
want that.
Be sure to
Well,
drink
why
your
don't we
Ovaltine.
start with something else then?
Okay.
Why don't we just start with like even Abigail has a good question for us. So
Yeah,
we'll
good.
get to that, Abigail. I see you, girl. Anything else, Pastor Brian? We good? Okay, cool. Abigail, we'll get to that for sure because that's good. What is God speaking to your life? What is He doing? Like what are you learning right now? Maybe that's too many questions.
Okay. Yeah. Narrow it to
What
one
is
because I could talk. It's fine. Whatever you want.
Oh my! What is God teaching you right now?
Okay, so I have been studying really, really nerdy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Things about creation, evolution, different time periods in history, and how that really fits into the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't see a big chasm between science and the Bible. I think
Mhm.
that science right now, new science, is actually confirming much of what we believe about the Bible.
Yeah.
And it really excites me. So like I've been like for the last couple months, I have actually had the time like no more studying physics, no more studying time continuums and different things like that. Like just pause
Mhm.
and really get back into the word. So I was reading and it wasn't like I was not getting back into the word, but it was like I was reading the Bible from that standpoint. Like I want to see it from a scientific standpoint, and it's really brilliant. Like you really see so much in it. There's like
Mhm.
I get excited about that. But the other day I was reading Acts chapter 5 and verse 19. And I've always like wondered personally when the apostles were arrested and they were commanded not to preach the gospel.
Mm.
Like, how do you react to that? Like, if I was arrested and commanded not to preach the gospel, how would I react? How should I react? And I think we have to like talk about that stuff. It's really important. Like I've had friends who've been arrested for smuggling Bibles in
Yeah.
China at
Yeah.
different places through the years. I've had one of our missionaries that we support and that we love dearly has friends who have lost limbs, eyes for the
Mm.
gospel,
Gosh.
and that's in the world today.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years, martyrdom, and now I'm getting like super heavy,
No,
has
it's
like really
okay. It's
like
go there.
has really heightened.
Mhm.
Um, just over the last couple of years, like we're seeing a lot of people. I mean, missionaries. Mike and I, we sat down and recorded a table talk, and we're like, "Hey, what's going on in the world right now, missions
Yeah.
wise?" And a lot of missionaries came back and retired. Now the mission field, we talk about that in depth for about 45 minutes.
Wow.
But we have to understand the landscape of Christianity all over the
Mhm.
world and what could potentially come our way.
Mm.
We've been talking about that for years. From that standpoint, what do I do if I'm, arrested and everything? And it's so interesting in Acts chapter 5, I focused on verse 20. The angel of the Lord set I think it was Peter. Yeah, I think it was Peter. Yeah, it was Peter. Free from prison, and he said, "Speak to them the words of life.
Mm.
Speak to them the words of life."
Mhm.
And I've been thinking about that, like this Bible that we have. It's not just like a word, a
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
It's the words of
Yes.
life,
Words
like
of
the
life.
words
So good.
of life.
Mhm.
And so I think about it from two standpoints: the words
Mhm.
of life.
Mhm.
They are the words that we need to live by
Mhm.
because they point us not only to navigate this life, but the next,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And so I've just been kind of processing that. Other than that, I've been able to kind of back up and take a 10,000 square foot or 10,000 foot level of what God's doing on the earth.
Yeah.
And
Like not just here, but
mhm,
everywhere. Mhm.
yeah, yeah, like what's his message in this season?
Mhm.
Because I feel like he's breathing a new message,
Yeah. Do you want to give us a hint of what you feel like that is, or
yeah, and I can give Ellie and I actually talk about that just a little bit
yeah?
in one of the
Okay.
table talks that we have
Well,
coming
that's
up,
okay. Cool.
which is really good. I don't know that I gave an answer to that. I'd been thinking about that the last couple days
Mhm.
though. When I look at what God's doing on the earth right now, I look at what God has done prior. So let me start. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into the sons and daughters message. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
That was
Oh,
a
that was one of
message.
my favorite messages.
Yep.
Yes, that
Yep.
was very pivotal.
But that was a
Yeah.
message for the entire church
Sure.
to understand the embrace of the
Yeah.
Father.
Right.
There
Right.
is such a thing as an orphan spirit.
Yeah.
And a lot of times leaders lead from an orphan spirit, and they
Hmm.
make great leaders because they just want to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
But the sons and daughters of God, we lead
Oof.
from a different standpoint. We
Yes.
lead from serving, not
Yeah.
by having a loud voice and being
Right.
the brightest and the best in the room.
Right.
But we lead from the standpoint of we are postured in Christ.
Yeah.
And where was Christ? He was the lowliest. He
Right.
was the servant.
Right.
You know.
Mhm.
I mean, we could talk about that for a long time,
Well,
probably.
no, I think that's really good. Honestly,
Hmm.
the orphan spirit, the orphan heart. How have you, does everybody kind of, go through that, kind of grow through that or overcome that, or a lot of people,
Have
or
to overcome it. Yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
How did you
I
ever
think
have to
varying
overcome
degrees. I think
certain, yeah.
varying. Yeah. Do I ever have to? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I was leading for years in the church and had an
Mm.
orphan spirit. And
Yeah.
sometimes it just comes from, you would want to blame father wounds and everything like that.
Mm.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was that for me, but it was the mindset of I'm better off and I'm safer by myself. I can do
Yeah.
everything
I can
on
do
my
everything on
own,
my own.
and I'm
Sure.
not willing to trust anybody with
Right.
anything, right?
So that's kind of
Because
like an orphan spirit.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the amount of pain or trauma that one
Mm.
goes through in their
Mhm.
life, I think directly correlates with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when people start to go through and they open up their heart and somebody really hurts them, I think that opens them up to a wounded spirit. And
Yeah.
in that, it's I'm going to take care of myself. I'm
So
never going
then
to
all of
open up
their
again.
decisions kind of come out of that place,
Yeah.
like out of an orphan heart. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Orphan
I think
spirit.
we
Yeah.
all have to deal with that. I
Yeah.
think that is the message of the gospel as well, that we're
Mhm.
adopted as sons.
Yes.
And when it says sons, by the way,
Yeah.
it's a position that is talking about like the inheritance. So it's not like
Yeah.
eliminating daughters. We
Hmm.
say sons and daughters, but the scripture actually says sons.
Yeah.
That means everybody has the same inheritance in the
Hmm.
family of God.
It's good. See.
That's kind of a big deal. Like
When
there's
you
not any firstborn, like this is, you get the privilege. There's no
right.
privilege in the body of
Right.
Christ. Like we are all the same.
Yeah. It's so
Right?
good.
Yeah.
And that changes everything, right? When you understand that, what is that? How does that change?
It frees you
Yeah.
for sure. It frees
Mm-hmm.
you for sure. I remember when we went through that, we were helping. We were
Hi,
helping
Hi,
somebody.
Pastor Jason. Jason Howard's on.
Oh,
And
what's up?
Ellie's asking some good questions.
Mm.
Yes. Oh, hi, Jess and Lexi. I see everybody on there. Oh, geez.
Pastor Jason probably has, man, dude.
Some
He
good.
can speak to all
He
this
can
stuff.
speak to all this as well.
I love him, man.
Yep.
Love you, dude.
Okay. So go ahead. You were saying how the orphans, once, it changes everything.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once you start to, I mean, if you're not fighting from a position of I want everybody to see me and everybody to notice me and I need to and I need to and I need to,
Mm-hmm.
you actually get to be who you're called to be
Yeah.
and lead how you're called to lead. And some people are, I mean, like every person is brilliant in some way.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
just finding that area that you're brilliant in.
Sure.
You know,
Right.
it's
And
really true.
settling into that.
And settling into it.
Like,
and,
as long as I'm who God's called me to be
right.
and leading out of a place of His security, His love for me,
Mhm. Yeah.
then
Right.
then you fulfill all that God has for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Mhm.
it's actually satanic to not be satisfied with where you are and how God's created you. It's actually that's exactly what the enemy did.
Yeah.
You can read that in the book of Ezekiel.
Right. Right.
He wanted to be something he was not. In the book of
Something he's not.
Isaiah, I'm going to be, I'm going to
Right.
ascend.
Right.
It's the ultimate of like but it is a worldly demonic way of thinking.
Yeah.
That's all it is, you know?
Because then it's never enough, right? There's
never
always, it never satisfies.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Because you're never enough in the world's eyes. You're never enough in your own eyes.
Correct.
So you just keep wanting more and more and more.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that
Oh,
was
you
one of the
understand-
things.
yeah.
That was a couple
So
years
good.
ago.
Right.
You know, that
Right.
theme was.
So what did we start talking about sons and daughters message? I can't remember why.
Probably
or-
2016, 2017.
Okay, but I can't
You know?
remember why we started talking about it tonight.
Oh no, we were talking about the theme that God is speaking to the earth
Yes,
now.
yes.
And I'm watching this with a lot of my friends. I'm going to go to then about 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody said 2020 vision, 2020 vision,
Right.
but that wasn't it.
Hmm.
That wasn't it. It was really pruning. It was really
Mm.
pruning. Every ministry friend that I had
Yeah,
went through a season of pruning,
yeah,
went through difficulty during that time.
sure.
And I think that God rooted out of us our negative theology,
Mm.
that the wrong theology that if you are living for Christ and you're in His will, then everything's going to go easy for you.
Yeah.
And so I think there was a path on Psalm 23. I think that that was a message for the church. Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow
Yeah.
of death, you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. That was a big lesson.
Mm-hmm.
We kept on saying, don't get out of this season without learning what God wants you to
Mhm.
learn. I think that's what we all needed to
Yeah.
learn, because everybody went through situations where they felt betrayed, hurt, abandoned. Everybody felt as if they had friends that, just completely changed.
Yeah,
And
everyone's walked through a
the
lot.
political
huh?
landscape was crazy
Yeah.
and everything. And so today, I do feel that God is bringing, I think the message that God is bringing is unity
Mm.
in the Holy Spirit, though,
Yes.
specifically. Unity in the Holy Spirit.
Mhm.
And I'm watching churches right now who are traditional by nature become more charismatic, more non-denominational
Mhm.
in their. I was sitting with Presbyterian pastors. Like, I love connecting with pastors. So I was with Presbyterian pastors, and they're opening up to be led by the Spirit of God.
Oh, that's so
And
awesome.
they have a track right now in their seminaries that's like the non-traditional way. You know what I mean? It's
wow.
really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're not going that far yet. You know what I mean? But they're open,
They're
and it's really
experiencing
cool.
more.
So what
more
I'm
of God.
noticing is that the more charismatic churches are becoming a little bit more traditional.
Okay.
Like, so for instance, like we're going to be talking about Lent, and we're building that into our messages in the coming weeks. And that's not standard in a non-denominational church.
Right,
While I was sitting
sure.
with those pastors and talking about that,
Yeah.
they were like, "Wait, you celebrate Lent?" I'm like, "Yeah, but like, a little different.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
different, but
Yeah.
yeah, we recognize it. And
Yes.
like we call it what it is, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
So God's there's unity right now happening.
Yes. Oh my goodness. How
Mhm.
how would you
Unity in the
see-
Holy Spirit.
Yeah, unity in the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I think that's the message for today. Yep.
Good. And what does that mean? What does that look like? How is that tangibly happening?
I think
How
that
do you
we
see it?
are seeing a young generation coming up
Mm-hmm.
who is sick of the fluff.
Yeah.
They want to see that something works, and they
Mhm.
won't be satisfied with this is your your mom's belief, this is your dad's belief, so just believe
Right.
it.
Just believe it.
They want to know that it works.
yeah.
Just like what happened in what's happening in Africa. Why do miracles happen in Africa? And people ask those questions all the time, like, why do we see this and this and this, and then we come back to the United States, we don't see it? Well, there is actual power in Africa. There's actually like witchcraft in Africa,
Mm.
and your form of following Jesus had better be more powerful
Yeah.
than the witch doctor.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're seeing right now, ooh, I hit that pretty good. We're seeing right now an emphasis
Yeah.
on that again,
Yeah.
and that excites me for the future.
Yeah.
It excites me. We're starting to feel it
Mhm.
within our services, aren't we?
Oh my goodness.
Presence of God.
Totally. Yes. People are hungry. They're ready.
Right.
And I was even telling Ellie, when me and Lojo and Ellie were in the car the other day, I was just saying how I feel like the church is just at a place, like we've gotten traction. We're getting roots in the ground. Like it's so exciting to me.
Yeah.
Just so excited about it. But how there's just so much trust, I feel like,
Yeah.
in the room that like Ellie's like the church is leaning in to like more of God. And that's just really exciting.
Yeah. And that's
Love it.
not just with us.
Yes.
You
It's
know?
happening like everywhere. It's
Mhm.
so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even within your like pastor group and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You all coming together and
And I'm telling you, for the most part, everyone is talking about how God
Yes.
is like moving
wow. That's
in their midst.
exciting.
I mean, even the Baptist ones we're saying are Baptist-costal. You know what I mean? It's really
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
really fun. But this is one of the first times in history where you can actually see somebody who might have, like me, we have a charismatic background,
Yeah.
sitting with Baptists and being in agreement of, and that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
no, God's like really moving right now.
So
Like, and it's
awesome.
powerful.
It's exciting.
Yeah. They would call it in the church world cessationalists,
Sure.
people who said, no, the Holy Spirit is done.
Yeah.
Not the Holy Spirit's done, but, the gifts of the Holy Spirit are done.
Sure. But their hearts are being a little
That's
bit open to it.
changing.
Yes.
We're all, I say this all the time. Brian gave it to me through Bill Johnson, but we're all one experience away from good theology.
Yeah.
You could not believe in those things, not believe in the
Mhm.
move of the Spirit, but then you can experience it and be like, wait a second.
Wait a second.
I know
what just
what I
happened
just
with that?
experienced.
Yeah, sure. Right.
I know what I
Mhm.
experienced, and that's what we're saying. So,
Do you think a lot of that has to do with like just how much prayer? I feel like there's been so much prayer.
Yeah.
Even with the Geppert family and Pittsburgh Praise and all the churches come together to pray and like just seek God in that way. Do you feel like that's been a
I
big part
do.
of it?
Yeah, I really do. I really do. I feel
Mhm.
that over the last couple of years, it has been so divided
Mm-hmm.
that the true followers of God
Mm-hmm.
are really coming together
Yeah.
and saying, like, no. It's just like the persecuted church,
Yes.
the gospel spreads whenever you try to
Yes.
stop it.
Yes.
Try to divide the church.
Mhm.
The enemy tried to divide. We are
Right.
actually becoming a lot more united.
We
How do
are.
you unite? Prayer.
Right?
Pittsburgh Praise.
Yeah. I know. It's
Psh, so
amazing.
good.
I love it. Okay, well
Mhm.
maybe we should answer some of the questions. What do you
Yep.
think?
Yep. Whatever you want to do,
Um.
girl. Whatever you
Oh,
want to do.
jeez. What do you guys? What's that?
Oh, don't worry about it, honey.
I'm so bad
Lauren
with
is really good
technology,
with
guys.
technology.
I am really bad. Is anybody with
It's her
me out there
favorite.
that's like just not that great at technology? That's me. Okay. So I think it was Abigail a while up there said, guys, hit me with your best, most favorite relationship pre-marriage wisdom. So exciting, girl.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, man.
Best pre-marriage wisdom.
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
There's so much.
Do you want to?
Oh,
Okay.
pre-marriage. Okay.
Yeah, pre-marriage
She
wisdom.
said the best, most favorite relationship
Here's
slash
what everybody
pre-marriage
expects me to
wisdom.
say right now. Ready? Become the me.
What'd you say?
Become the me you want to be, or whatever it is. Like, you remember
What?
that? It was like, no, it wasn't become the me you want to be, but it was there was something better on that. Like, be the one that you would, want to marry or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, become the one
Right.
rather than looking for the one. Become the one.
Yes, we would
Yeah.
always say, oh, geez, we would always say, you can't be my number one, you can be my number two.
You can be my number two.
That's right. That's still
Yeah.
the case.
I'm gonna actually. We're gonna be okay. So, legit. If you are a seriously dating, engaged, or a married couple, we're doing a marriage conference at the end of
Yes.
February, and I'm going to be giving all of those
That's
answers
very true.
there.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, maybe just give them a little snippet, like one little.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I
there's
learned
so
this during the
much.
pandemic. I'm just going to hit
Yeah.
it. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. I learned this during the pandemic that once people started to get together and get stuck in a room, they realized they didn't get along as well as they
Like
used
during
to.
COVID, you mean? Is that what
During
you're saying?
COVID,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So I mean, when I talk about like having marriage counseling, like man, I was like booked like crazy
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
marriage counseling.
Mm-hmm.
It was over and over, and I was a bad marriage counselor. I was like not very good at it, so I actually had to reach out for help, and I think I've become pretty good at it. I
Yeah.
do. I think I've become pretty good at it, and
Yeah.
I'm just saying the results
Yeah.
would speak to that, right? And so one of the
And we don't
things
have to
is
go into all that stuff because I know we are going to go into a lot of that over for the marriage
oh,
conference.
100%,
Yeah, that would be so
100%.
good.
One of the things that I'll say is that to have a united vision and a united front.
Yeah.
One of the things that I
So
noticed
true.
with those couples is that they didn't have anything that they were working on anymore. They just kind of
Mm-hmm.
sat around and watched TV, and then like their life was just like over by the time they got
Like
home.
no vision,
They
kind
had no
of.
vision. They didn't work together. They didn't like dream of
Yeah.
anything together. I
Right.
mean, that's huge. Like, go
Yeah.
serve homeless people together.
Right.
Go down to the city. Like,
Yeah.
serve in the church together.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
things. Have a vision. Even
Yes.
outside of faith, like
Mm-hmm.
you want to have a lake house? Save up for a lake house. Dream about
Like
it.
do
Like
something
do a
together.
Pinterest board,
Yeah.
of what
Uh-huh.
that looks like. Like there has to be a united vision. We're going somewhere together
Yeah.
as a couple. It's not just two people getting married and that's the end result, you know?
Sure.
And I think that that's happened simply because in the church there's been an overglorification of marriage
Mm.
where if
It's
you're
like the end
married, then
all.
all your problems are going to go
Yeah.
away.
Right.
And
Right.
I did this all the time. I used to call you, of course, my smoking hot wife. I had to have said that once or twice as a youth pastor. You know what I mean? Because I wanted kids to stay sexually pure. Like,
Yes.
but when you do that as well, you're telling them that those things will go away once you get married, and that's the end
Yeah.
goal. But then what I've noticed is, and this
So
happens a
good,
lot of
T.
times with people who are older, they don't have a vision for their lives when their kids get out of the house, and so
Yeah.
then they experience trouble there.
Sure.
What does it have to do? Vision.
Yeah.
Without a
So
vision, people
good.
perish.
Right.
That is a
Mm-hmm.
scriptural principle.
So
Without a
good.
vision, you're going to perish. So
Mm-hmm.
have a united front,
Yep.
meaning like you talk to each other about anything,
Mm-hmm.
non-judgmental. The
Yep.
Cure is a really good book, The Cure, to
Yeah.
talk about like non-judgmental and I can come to you about anything. And when I open up my
Yes.
heart about, you do such a good job of this. When I open up my heart about something, I always feel
Mm-hmm.
more loved in the
Yes.
sharing of it,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
That's a united front. We can talk to
Yes.
each other about anything.
Yes.
We're going to tackle this together. But then a
There's enough
united
people
vision
to like put
is
each
a
other
big part.
down in the world. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
enough people that can put you down. Or enough
definitely.
people to put me down. Like
Yeah.
we have to be each other's like helpmates and helpers. And yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That's
Yep.
good. That's good wisdom.
hmm
I was even going to say just the power of having a couple that you can um and we'll share a lot of stuff, soon, but a couple that you can really talk to or count on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone that you can go to as a couple for accountability, for resources, for prayer, for all of that. I feel like was super helpful for
Yeah.
our dating like pre-marriage relationship.
hmm
Don't you think that was helpful? Have a
Absolutely.
couple in your corner
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
that
I
can
mean,
help you with
that's
things.
discipleship.
Yeah.
You have to have
Right.
somebody in your life who's a couple steps ahead of you,
Right.
you know?
Absolutely.
And you should have somebody in your life who's a couple steps behind you too, that you're bringing
Yes.
along.
That's right.
There's power in teaching
Mhm.
as well. Yep.
Mm. Well, Ellie has a fun one. I don't
All
know if
right.
there's something else you wanted to go into
Girl,
after that.
I'm ready. I'm good.
He is ready. Ooh. Name one thing that has changed for the better in each other. Habits, character, style, whatever. Oh, that's funny. That's
Habits,
a good one.
character, style.
All of the above.
That's funny.
Kayla's laughing at that one. I don't know. Probably all of the above. Oh man, that's the fun thing about growing up together and growing old together is like you
So
do
much has
adapt it.
changed.
So much has changed.
Yeah, we met in 2002,
Yeah.
and I was wearing a bandana, like,
Yeah.
thinking I was so cool,
Oh my
you
gosh.
know. I think that was probably style, that I took the bandana off. That was probably a good thing,
That's
right?
funny. Yeah.
I liked your bangs. You had some bangs through the years,
Did
right?
I?
Dude, early on, I remember bangs were in for a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
You had it. You've had a lot of different hairstyles through the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like your hair naturally, like a little bit more like this than I do like super blonde.
Oh, that's good to know.
I've told you that many times. I'm just getting it recorded right now.
It's on the record now.
It is definitely on the record.
Well, I feel like
So that's style.
we've both helped each other in many ways. Like you've helped me to have fun and enjoy life.
Hopefully. I can be super serious though. I look at my life, I'm like,
Yeah.
man, that's,
Yeah.
maybe I've dialed it back and that's a good thing.
Mhm.
Maybe I've gotten more serious.
Mhm.
But, you are a blast to be around.
But you've helped me enjoy life and like
Hey, I'm gonna
embrace
say one
life.
area that I'm really proud of you in, and that is the area in not letting people walk all over you.
I'm working on that one.
No, it's good.
Mhm.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
You know, pastors' wives historically, like
Mhm.
you could see, they're the most overlooked person in the church.
Mm. Not at Hill City though. I
Not
don't
at Hill
feel that
City.
way at all.
I said historically, not
Yeah.
at Hill City.
Yeah.
Um, people
Makes
love you,
sense.
you know.
Yeah.
But I've also seen people mistreat you, and
Mhm.
I've also seen how much that's affected you through the years.
Yes.
And I love how you have grown and developed, and it is not affecting you like it used to.
Yeah. That I think that's the hardest part of
You
ministry
have a hard
for
time
me.
talking about that, I know, so I'm not going to ask too much.
No, no,
That's
no.
the hardest part of ministry
I
for
think
you?
that's the hardest part. Anybody in ministry, I feel like most people that have done ministry for a long time, I think that's the hardest part.
What?
Is just, serving, loving people, serving your heart out, just loving them as best as you can, as deeply as you can. And then just, the mistreatment or
Right,
the
right.
words or the,
They're really grieving something
yeah,
else. And,
absolutely.
the way
For
that I put
sure.
it, and I think I learned this from a very wise man. I'll just say a very wise man. I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember exactly who taught me
Hi,
this,
Kristen.
but when a dog gets hit by a car,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to bite the first person that tries to help.
Right,
And many times the people who love you
right.
or you love the most, you
Mm-hmm.
take advantage or you take for granted
Mm-hmm.
because
Sure.
and you say things and do things
Right.
because you think, well, it's your job. You're going to love me because you're a pastor's wife. You have to treat me
You
perfectly,
have to,
and I'm going to
let
treat
me
you
do
like
whatever.
garbage.
Right.
And people
Right.
really do have that mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that anybody would have a context for that who's
Right.
watching right now. I think some of our staff might, but I'm
Yeah.
proud of you for that.
Thank you. I'm trying to. I think that's the hardest part about ministry, serving in any capacity. It's like having tough skin, but a super soft heart, and not allowing your
Yeah.
heart to grow hard or bitter towards people, but just to
Hmm.
continue to see the beauty of who God is and through people too.
Yeah.
It can be hard though.
Yeah.
It
To not
can be
become
hard
jaded.
to not become jaded. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of you for that. I think you've put in the work to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Trying.
that was a good question.
Thank you. And I've just seen you grow, I mean, so much.
Well, thanks.
I think what I've really enjoyed seeing you the last couple years is your confidence of knowing who God's called you to be and being okay with it and secure
Yeah.
and leading from that place, like you were talking about, the orphan, not like just leading out of a secure place.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
Do you want me to speak to that a minute?
Sure, you sure can.
As a leader, this is a great leadership principle. People will try to make you into something you're not because they have expectations.
Right.
And then if you become that,
Mm-hmm.
not only are you abandoning yourself or
Mm.
being hypocritical, but you'll find that those very people who want you to be a certain way will still want you to be a different way.
Sure.
They're never happy.
Right.
So you
It's
might as
not
well
worth
just be
changing.
yourself.
It's not worth changing.
Don't change your
To
values.
make
Never get
other
off your
people
values.
happy, never get off your. That's what I love most about you is that you do not deviate. Is that the right word?
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah,
From your values.
sure.
You're like, no, this is who we are. This is why, and we're not changing just to make somebody else happy.
Right.
Like that's not why we're doing this. You
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
So huge.
we don't do that for our kids when they throw a
Yeah.
hissy fit on the floor wanting more
Right.
chocolate at 11 o'clock
Right.
at night.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm
Absolutely.
not going to give you chocolate right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's not going to kill you, but
Right.
that's,
Good parents don't
good parents don't do that.
do that,
That's
right?
leadership.
Totally.
I'm not going to get off my values. I mean,
Nope.
I'll do the best I can. I think everybody gets off their values every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I think the key is having good friends in your life too. I don't
That's
know
so
that
true.
I don't know that I could
Mm-hmm.
not deviate
Right.
from unless I had good friends who
Yeah.
also carried my values
Sure.
and addressed me.
Yeah.
If I'm
Yes.
off of those values,
Well,
which
sure. You're human.
we're all human.
We're all human. But you're so right. Good friends is huge.
Mhm.
Having people to love you and
Right.
call you out, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge.
How do you do when people lie to you? How do you do with that? I have a hard time with it.
I don't know. That's a tough question.
Like, is that like the ultimate for you?
Um,
just when I was talking about thinking about friendship,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about honesty. Like every good friendship is built on the bedrock of honesty.
Yeah, sure.
And if a person isn't honest, and I'm not talking about like exaggerating a story every once in a while. I'm talking about honesty.
Yeah. It's hard to build a
Can they really
relationship off
be
of,
a good friend?
yeah, not being honest. You can't
Right.
really, what do you do with that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I put you on the spot. I
Yeah,
promised you I wouldn't.
well, no, it's totally fine. I just don't know that I have a good answer for that. Just pray through it and then just, ask, is this really a healthy relationship
Maybe if
or
this is a
whatever? If it's a
pattern.
pattern, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone's human, but if it's like if it becomes a pattern,
Yeah.
you have to start setting those
I think some
boundaries.
people
And
lie to themselves,
yeah, sure,
and that I have an easier time
yeah,
forgiving.
yeah,
Yeah.
or
Do you want to go first?
um,
You want me to give you a minute to think?
I think it's so easy
Mm-hmm.
when we first set boundaries, especially if we're not used to setting boundaries, to kind of swing the pendulum so far, right? And we
Yeah.
just start setting boundaries like, and because you want to protect yourself, you want to remain safe. But then sometimes all those boundaries can also not be helpful. So I
Yeah.
think there is like a
Yeah,
happy
and we're not
medium.
speaking particularly to the context of this question. With that
Right.
answer, you and I don't really know
That's
that.
true.
But what we can say is as well is
Changing
that I think that was a big thing for you.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think that you were like really figuring out how to set boundaries appropriately and say
Yeah.
this is how far I'm willing to go.
Right. Right.
You know.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
just said on navigating, which one did you? Oh, someone has a kids question. That's good. On advice on navigating changing relationships
Yeah.
as you step into things of God.
Yep. Yep.
So I don't know if
Absolutely.
that means,
No.
yeah.
Yeah. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember one of my best friends in high school. He had a very difficult time when I gave my life to the Lord.
Yeah. I think that's what
He had
she
a
said.
very
Yeah.
difficult time. He was like, "But I remember you this way.
Yeah.
Can you just come back?"
Oh, sure.
And I said, I'm never really going to come back, but I'm still the same person, and I love you no matter
Yes.
what.
Right.
Yeah, it might be different. Like I'm not going to be doing
Right.
some of those things, and I'm
Right.
not going to engage in,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm the same person. I'm just a completely different person at the same
Yeah.
time.
Sure.
But we remain friends. We remain close friends, and the friends who can respect that and they can walk with you through those seasons.
Yeah.
With you through those seasons.
Yeah.
There have been friends in ministry
Mm-hmm.
who have tried to get me, interestingly, to back off on my values.
Hmm.
And that's like really the thing. Like if your friends respect your values and respect your boundaries,
Yeah.
and they really see you and know you, like
They won't
I think
push you.
that it's easier to do that. I think
Mhm.
it's hard to
Mm-hmm.
step into a place of loneliness
Mm-hmm.
once you come to Christ. Like
Sure.
that's not what God calls us to do. And that,
Mm-hmm.
I could talk on that for a long. I don't want to belabor the answer there.
No, I think it is. You have to do it carefully. I just remember when my life was changed, things had to change for me.
Hmm.
And it wasn't because like oh my gosh, my closest best friend, who I treasure so much to this day, I had to make the decision to not go to a school that I knew in my heart it wasn't going to be good for
Yeah,
me.
that's a great, yeah,
And it was so hard because it had nothing to do with her.
right. But it probably felt personal to her,
Oh,
huh?
I'm sure.
She probably
We've
felt,
talked about it. We've talked through it.
yeah,
But that was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make.
yeah,
Because she means so much to me,
yeah.
and
Still
we're
today.
still close. Oh my gosh, I adore her. But that
there
was
was a
really hard
season
for
where
me.
of difficulty.
Yeah,
There was
I
a
had to.
season.
I knew that if I had to go, I knew that God was telling me to go to Geneva because I knew that was where I needed to be.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was hard. So
One
Jess
thing that you said
yeah,
is time. You've told me this over and
Uh-huh.
over again regarding relationships, and
Yeah.
I found this to be true. Like time doesn't heal all wounds, but it heals.
it
It heals
heals
a
a
lot of them.
lot.
Yeah, it really
Time
does.
and healthy conversation,
Right.
like
Yeah.
just
Grace,
talking
truth,
about
and
it.
time.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's so true. Yeah, sometimes you do need to back away for a season just to, like she was saying, she feels like she's outgrowing her friendships. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Sometimes when you get closer to God or you're doing things, yeah.
Yeah,
need-
but we also have to be very careful of that because maybe
Right.
there's a couple friends that God's putting a spotlight on to say,
bring
"Hey, come
bring with
me.
you.
Come with me on this journey.
Yeah,
Come with me on my journey."
absolutely. Yes.
Because your heart just gets like when you first
Yes.
come to the Lord and things like God really, really
Mhm.
becomes real.
Yes.
You know, It's like
Mm-hmm.
this insatiable desire for growth. And I
Yes.
think with that insatiable desire for growth,
Mm-hmm.
there comes a mindset that I need to surround myself with other people who have insatiable desires of growth, but that's not always the case.
Right.
We can still be a great friend.
Yeah.
We just look a little different and it looks a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But there are seasons of friendship, you know. I always
Right?
see this as, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a
Reason, season, destiny.
destiny.
Yep.
And there are different seasons of friendships, and some seasons of friendships last for a little while, and then some people you're lifers with, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then, but if you're really feeling that way, like you feel like you're outgrowing and it's scary, just pray, ask God, you know what I mean, on a daily basis, just to send you the right friend to surround you, or the right friends, or God, how do I balance this all out? He'll more than likely give you the right plan for that, or send you somebody. It can be both and. Sometimes you can still be a blessing to your friends in the past, but still move forward and gain new friends as well.
Yep.
You
I
know?
think it's when they start to pull you off of the
Right.
plan and purpose for your
Right.
life purposefully.
Right.
That's
That's when
when
it
it's
gets
like
dangerous or
dangerous.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Or
way
if
of
there's
putting
like
that.
that unhealthy soul tie
Yes.
with a friend, or people don't
Yeah.
realize like that's not just like a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Right. It
That's
can be a friend.
can
An
actually be
unhealthy
a friend.
relationship.
And yep.
Yep. Do you want me to just keep answering a couple questions here?
Yeah, whatever you want, dear. Yeah,
Oh
whatever you want.
my. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kristen said, which one of you is the disciplinarian for your kids?
I've become that through the years.
Yes.
And I think it has to do with the ages of the kids.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like the boys can walk all over you, and I am not going to let that happen.
Right.
I think it's disrespectful, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
allow disrespect to their mother in my
Mhm.
house.
Yeah.
So you can tell right now I deal with that, right?
He
And
lays
they
down
know
the
it.
smack.
That's it.
No, he's,
No.
yeah, no.
No smacks.
The good
but-
thing is when you have a healthy relationship, right?
Yeah, I had a conversation with one of our boys
Mhm.
today. I was hard on him because I heard blatant, mean disrespect, and I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't put up with that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I went up to him and I gave him a big hug, and I was like, listen, I love you so much. I was like, can you
Mhm.
calm down though? Because I just really don't want your childhood to be me having to be tough on you. I just want to
Yeah.
have fun with you.
Yes. Right. Right.
He's like, oh yeah, like that made
Mhm.
sense to him. He's like,
It
yeah, sure.
clicked. Good.
Uh-huh. Such a good kid.
Yeah. But I feel like when they were little, because I was home with them, they weren't in school. So I don't know. I feel like we've always been. Have we both?
When we first had kids, discipline, the teaching on discipline has changed a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
really changed.
Yeah.
It's more one of the best books is Loving Our Kids on Purpose by Danny
Yes.
Silk.
Oh, it's so good.
That book has really
That is
shaped our
such a good-
parenting.
yeah. Like ultimate goal of parenting is connection, is heart-to-heart connection.
Yes.
And that's what that
So
book
good.
taught us.
Yes.
It wasn't obedience. And I always thought it was. Listen, obedience, if your kids are going crazy and they're not listening to you and they're all over the place, that's not good.
That's not good.
That's not order. That's not healthy. That's going to
But we love
cause
each
more.
other, but we have fun together.
Right.
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 I think we've swung the pendulum in the
Right.
opposite direction. here.
Exactly. You don't want to swing it so far.
Yeah.
But ultimately, your goal is heart-to-heart connection. But it can be hard based on if they're pushing away, if their behaviors. It can be really challenging to
Ultimately,
keep that in front.
we see this in leadership too. You can correct someone without a relationship,
Right.
but you can't admonish them without relationship.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so that relationship actually helps in the disciplinary.
Mhm.
It's like I don't want you to lose out. I don't want you to miss
Right.
out.
Right.
Come on,
Yeah.
get your stuff together.
Yeah.
But Loving Our Kids on Purpose helps.
Yes.
And early on, the goal really was that was brilliant and so true. It was obedience.
Right.
But do we really want our kids to be super obedient and just do what everybody tells them to do? Like, no, I don't want them to be mindless drones. I want them to have a will. I want them to
Yeah.
think on their own.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. I won't get into that too
Well, no,
much.
I think that's where you are, even in leadership. Like you want people to not leave their brains at the door. You want them to be able to think for
Yes.
themselves and allow God to speak to them.
Yeah,
and, you
because
know
their
what I mean?
perspective matters.
Yes.
And their
Mhm.
unique calling matters.
Right.
And that's really what we're fostering as
Right.
parents, their
Right.
unique individual calling.
Mm-hmm.
I believe everybody has that. Like
Right.
everybody has that area of brilliance. Ours is
Right.
to help us. We're going to help our kids find that area
Right.
of brilliance in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone gave me really good advice. Not that we need to stay on parenting, but thank you, Kristen. You're so sweet. Same with you. Yeah, heart-to-heart connection. So huge. is I was asking somebody that I look up to a lot, like, always asking, give me some parenting advice or, you know what I mean? Kids that have turned out amazing, right? You're
Yeah,
like,
right.
huh, now how did you do that?
Yeah. What's the secret sauce
What's the
here?
secret? How
What you
did that
got?
actually happen,
What you got for me? Yeah.
So just been asking those questions and she encouraged me just like to teach them at a young age how to hear God's voice and to be confident
Yeah.
in them hearing God's voice.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Not dependent on you to hear God's voice or you just to tell him what to do all the time, right?
Right.
Do this, don't do this, do this. But what do you feel like God's telling you?
Right.
And then when or it could be the
So
littlest
good.
decisions.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, giving them ownership of decisions
Yes.
and then helping them to walk
How are you
through
going to solve this
how
problem?
are you going to solve this problem?
We can
Or
solve their problems
right,
to their detriment
right.
for
It's
them.
so true.
Never allowing
Mhm.
them to experience pain will actually produce
Right.
more pain in the long run.
Oh, that's so good. It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to work on that one.
Well, I think everybody does. We all have a little bit of codependency in us, right? Like
Right.
we all do.
Right. But
Everybody has to work on
that's a
that.
game changer, though,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
teach them to hear God's voice at a young, not even just that, be confident that they hear God's voice
I
and they
love
can
that.
make that decision,
Right. Right.
And then what did you just say?
I don't know. I don't know. We can rewind it. But I will
can't
say,
remember
I'm
what you
always on to the
just
next
said.
thing anyway. So I'm like, one of the things that I've learned as a leader and as a father is
Ah,
talk to your kids or talk to your team about things that don't matter. So if you ever have to talk to them about things that do matter, they can actually hear you.
so good.
So it's relational over transactional,
It's so good.
relational
So
approach.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's no
we can be
connection.
hard on them, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we can everybody has regrets.
Yeah.
And everybody wishes, oh, maybe I should have been harder, or maybe I should have been softer, or like
Mm-hmm.
whatever those are. We all have regrets, but we have to keep on.
Mm-hmm.
Just apologizing is sometimes the best thing that you can do.
Yeah. Own up to it, right?
Hmm.
So what do you do to tell, to the person that maybe is walking around with regret in parenting, regret
Everybody
in
has regret.
mm-hmm.
Every person has regret. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
carries regret, and with death always comes regret.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, in the areas of regret of our lives, like what are we actually grieving? What are we actually sad about? What are
Mm-hmm.
we? What death was it that I've experienced that
Mm-hmm.
I'm experiencing this regret?
Mm-hmm.
I should have. I mean, we understand this from the standpoint of once we are with somebody who loses somebody tragically because we've been there
Mm-hmm.
so many times. The very first thing is, I wish I would have. Where was I? I
Mm.
didn't. I could have. If
Shoulda, coulda,
I would
woulda.
have just
Sure.
known this last night when I talked to
Right.
them last. We'll
Yeah.
carry around regret with us. We'll never carry regret though into heaven. Like regret is one of
Mm-hmm.
those things that we will not carry with us.
Yeah.
So we have to actually first ask ourselves, what is it that I am
Mm.
grieving right now, and actually grieve it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel deep remorse over this.
Mm.
Allow yourself to feel. And most
Yeah.
people will not allow themselves to feel, and negative behaviors exude. They
How
come
does
out.
somebody even begin to start to do that?
Well, I
Is
would
there
say read through the book of Psalms and
okay?
recognize that 50% of the Psalms are actually Psalms of lament.
Yeah.
So it's actually godly to grieve,
Mm-hmm.
right? So David,
I've heard somebody say it's like actually worship. Like worship and grieving can go hand in hand.
right? Oh, that's good.
Isn't that so good?
It's 100%
Kirsten
true.
told me that. Yeah,
I've
it's
experienced
so
that.
good.
I've
Yes.
experienced that. Pastor Larry
Mm-hmm.
told me that one time.
Yes.
He's like, Zach, you need to grieve. You need to tell God exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
I was like, but I don't want to be disrespectful,
Yeah.
And he's like,
Like we're just
no,
afraid
God
that
knows
God.
you think it. He
Yeah.
knows what you're thinking,
Right. Yeah.
Just talk to him.
We feel like
That's
God
what
can't
David did.
handle it or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he can't handle our pain and our grief, right?
Right. How many times did David ask the question, how long?
Yeah.
How long?
Mm-hmm.
But we all experience regret. I think no matter where you are in life, like even if you're in the perfect will of God for your life, you'll always experience some kind of regret looking back and thinking, well, maybe it could be better if I had done this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that last season isn't undone. What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Regret follows us everywhere. It won't follow us
Yes.
into heaven though.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah. But with that regret, apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Do the best you can.
Yes.
Own up
Just
to
like
it.
own up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't
Don't
that
blame
the
anybody
greatest
else.
thing? Yes, even with your kids, with your
Yeah.
work, with anything.
It's a step
just
into
own
adulthood.
up to it.
It's adulthood.
Yeah.
We own our problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did that.
Mm-hmm. I was talking to a counselor actually, and we were just laughing because, she was just saying, I annoy myself. I kind of annoy everybody around me too. I'm like, oh, that's so good. I annoy myself. Like, if you're annoyed with me, I'd rather you
Right.
tell me because I will be the first to admit that I annoy myself too.
That's so funny. Yeah,
I
I
love
remember
it.
when you first told me that. I thought
Yes.
that was brilliant.
Oh,
I
yes.
annoy myself. It's
Yes.
true.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yes, it does for me. Worship and lament are so linked for me. Yeah.
Hmm.
God can handle your grief. He sure can. Kristen said, what Enneagram number are you?
Oh, 7 through and through,
Yeah, 7
and
and then
then you're
3.
3,
Mm-hmm.
and that is like the couple that meshes really well together.
Yes, we do. We are a pretty good team.
Yeah,
We're
we
not
are.
perfect. We
We
get on
had a
each
lot
other's
to work
nerves.
out. We had
We
a lot to work
did.
out.
I think everybody does,
I
though,
was a little
right?
too 70 of a 7, and you might have been a little too 3 of a 3.
A 3 of a 3. I love
We've
it.
worked it out through
I
the
love
years.
it. Can I share a scripture that I've been
Oh, I
thinking
would love
about a
that.
lot?
I would
Is
love
that
that.
okay? And
Yeah.
then you can even think about what I don't know how long we want to go. We've probably been on for like almost an hour.
Yeah, we'll go a couple more minutes, and we'll see if there's
Okay.
any more questions out there,
Okay.
and then we'll wrap it up at 9 o'clock.
So I've been reading just like Proverbs 13:12, I think it is.
Okay.
Hope deferred makes the heart sick.
Yeah.
But a longing fulfilled is a tree of life.
Mm-hmm.
And just want to encourage anybody that's waiting out there. But this is just super duper good. I was looking in your logo study of like what all the words mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But it actually, all of that means an expectation that is drawn out can make us tired, weak, weary, but a longing, a yearning, a sighing actually that comes in is the joy of life. It produces fruit. It's life. So
A sighing?
yeah, a sighing, like a longing. Have you
Oh,
ever had a
yeah.
hope for something? You're just like, oh,
Oh, yeah, you make a,
like,
oh, I could just,
oh, yes.
I almost
Isn't
said
that
if I could
so
just have that hot dog. Like, that's not what I want.
that hot dog?
It's like a hot dog now. It's
A
not, but a
sighing.
longing fulfilled is a tree of life.
Yeah, it's a tree of
A
life.
sighing, yeah, yeah. That's how much you want. Man, that's good.
You crack me up, PZ.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. But anyways, I love that scripture. I was reading that today and it's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on waiting for that hope. Oh,
Yeah, and be praying for us about the adoption.
yes. Hallelujah.
Whoa, that's
Okay,
been
what's
taking forever.
Oh, Kristen, I know, right? Oh. Kristen said she's a 7 and Brandon is a 3. That's funny. And he's a 2 with a wing of a 1. I don't know how I feel about Enneagram. I mean, I think it's pretty cool.
You think it's cool?
I don't
You don't know how you feel about it?
know. Yeah, I don't know.
I
all
know
the
Caleb
studies.
hates it.
Does he?
Yeah, he hates it. It's because he's a 7. He doesn't want any labels on him.
I love it.
Don't you put me in a box.
Don't put me in a box. Are you so hopeful for
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I love it. Are you so hopeful for this year though?
Me?
Yeah.
Of course.
Excited for all
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
to come and
Yeah, so much.
you got
Like,
man camp coming up. You got a marriage conference.
yep, man
At all.
camp, marriage conference. We got
Ministry
City
school.
every week.
Like what? This is so awesome.
school ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's such a
Yeah.
blast. School ministry has been one of the best things that we've done for the church.
I know. It's so awesome.
I'm assuming Jess Thompson
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
was the one asking questions. She's growing immensely,
Yes.
and it has everything to do with school ministry.
Yeah.
I think everybody should do it. Tuesday nights, I think. Maybe Jess can put the details of it.
Yeah,
Tuesday
that'd
nights
be
at 8.
great. I know. It's
Alan's
been
going to be in
impactful
a
for
few
her.
weeks.
Oh, that's
Pastor
awesome.
Alan's gonna be speaking
oh,
to the church.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Annie, hi Annie Buckles. We love
Annie
you.
Buckles. Can't say just her first name.
Yeah. So good things coming up.
Yeah.
What else?
What else? What?
What else?
Oh gosh. Are you talking about what I'm excited about or what?
I don't know.
Be specific with me.
Anything else you want to encourage anybody with, or if you guys have any prayer requests, let us know.
Yeah.
But anything you want to encourage everybody with, or thoughts to leave them on? I don't know how long you want to keep on talking.
Yeah, we have 6 minutes.
Oh, cool.
So we're good till
Yeah.
9.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You're funny. You were ready for bed. It is easy to see it. You're like, okay, okay.
I am
Okay, your eyes are
I am
getting closed.
lively. I am very lively.
Yeah, put on some NSYNC again. You get it.
I know.
You know.
Anybody else have any questions? Or do you have anything you want to encourage everybody with? Or
Oh, I mean, no, I'm good. I have nothing that is worth keeping people on right now, for sure.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, good job tonight. It was nice to talk with you.
Thank you.
Did we get to say hi
I'm
to
proud
everybody?
of you. You're great,
Oh,
great
thanks.
hubby and dad and leader, and
Yeah.
Happy to
Thank
be
you.
doing this crazy, wild journey with you.
I know.
I love
We
it.
literally got done doing homework with the kids 5 minutes before we jumped on here.
Totally.
That
That's
is
just
our
our
life
life.
right
That's
now.
our life right now.
Yeah.
Full parenting, full
And we
ministry,
still didn't get it all done.
and we still didn't get it all
Like,
done.
okay, whatever. I'm like, there comes a point where you're like, I don't even care. Like when I was a kid, I didn't even
No.
know when we had homework. I was the kid who was like, how's everybody know you got homework? How do you guys know that? How do you keep track? My mom was like, you get your homework done? I'm like, yeah, I got it done.
No,
I think I did,
no,
you know.
Zachy. No,
It was pretty
dear.
bad. Now I get a second round. I get a second go around. I have to do all that homework that I didn't do.
We're relearning a
We're
lot.
relearning a ton. We needed it. We
It
needed
doesn't
it.
hurt. Doesn't hurt to
Not
have a
hurting a
second
thing.
round.
Not hurting to have a second round at all.
Well, I'm
No.
excited. I'm thankful. So thankful that we have a place, like thinking about our journey and how good God is. Just
Oh my goodness, yeah.
when he speaks something, when he shows you something, just trust him.
Yeah.
Stay on the journey with him through the ups and downs. Don't quit. Don't give up, right?
No.
There's no quit.
Right. One thing that I was actually thinking about before,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you. There was such a good response this past Sunday
Yes.
of people who are like, I'm getting in the game. I'm jumping in.
Yes, I know.
We
was
need
amazing.
it. We need it
I
to
know.
move forward.
I know.
Like
So
I can't
exciting.
contain vision anymore. I can't do it. I can't wait.
Yeah, I know.
We got to slow down, to speed up. But in the same sense, I'm like, oh, come on. But it's all
So
coming at
exciting.
once.
Yeah,
Things are coming
I know. Quickly.
down the pike at once, right?
Mhm.
From prophetic worship nights.
Yeah.
Those have been unbelievable. School worship was so fun.
Yep.
To, the second year of school ministry is coming.
Yep.
That's unbelievable.
So awesome.
So good. We have man camp coming up. What are you doing for the girls?
I think we have an event coming up in April. I think we have to plan it out still.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
Awesome. You got that coming up. That's
Yep.
awesome. We got the point class.
Yes.
We're
a new
pointing people
app
to
coming out.
discipleship. Yeah, we got
Right.
our app coming out.
Yeah.
Discipleship pathway. Like
Mhm.
this is thorough. This
Yep.
is not like Brian and
We
I
have
were talking just
HQ
before.
now. Thank God.
Right.
We have a space.
It's go time.
Our building. We've got plans.
Yeah.
People are going to want to know more details about that.
I
soon.
know. And you know what? We got to just do it. We just got to get things out there. But
Yep.
things are
It's a
just
process.
so delayed.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Sure.
Of course, this is what we've been thinking about for 5 years. Like,
Right.
6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
since
Everything's
before the
falling into
church.
place. It's clicking.
It
clicking
really
in.
is.
Keep
Be
clicking
praying
in
for
and-
variances. That's where we are.
Okay. Variances. Township variances.
Yep. Township
Perfect.
variances.
Okay,
Whatever.
maybe one more.
One more question? Anything?
What's one thing you know now that would have been so helpful 10 years ago? Oh gosh. It's a great question. Lex.
I wouldn't have believed it. I
Mm.
wouldn't have believed if you would have given me the wisdom that I needed for this season.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have believed a word that you said about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I should publicly share like a lot of that at this point. I think I'm going to reserve a lot of my thoughts, but I think that Brian and I have had some really good conversations regarding
Mhm.
regarding the wisdom that we needed 10 years ago, but we had to go through it.
I know.
I think we had to go through it.
Right. Just sit back and trust the Lord.
I'll say that I'll be blunt, because I think people deserve honesty. And if I err on the side of too much honesty, Lauren will always pull me back, but you don't have to you don't have to fear with what I'm about to say. But I think that one of the things that I wish that I would have known is the people who would say that I'm going to be with you forever, give them like 3 weeks and that's it. Like not all, but
Yeah.
a lot of it. You know what I mean? Because my heart really grieved when
Mm.
and some people don't know how to transition without creating drama.
Yeah.
You know what I
Sure.
mean? And I just thought, no, we're never going to experience that. We're going to be, healthy and we're not going to put up with this and
Sure.
everything. You can't control everything as a leader.
Yeah.
And sometimes you really are placed
Sure.
in a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
You just have to
You're
pick
right.
the better of two losses.
Yeah.
That's what you have to choose,
Mm-hmm.
And if you would have told me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it at all,
Yeah.
because my theology on all of that was off. My
Mm.
belief in myself as a leader was too strong. I didn't
Mhm.
realize and recognize my weaknesses as much as I needed to. And the
Mm.
Lord really humbled me through that. And yeah, I think
That's
there's a
good.
lot. And I think that I looked at people through the lens of opportunity.
Yes.
And not everybody takes that opportunity. Jesus actually had one of his closest followers betray him, one of
Right.
his best friends. And,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
I think I've grown through that.
Yeah.
And I've embraced it and I have a healthy expectation there.
Mhm.
But 10 years ago, I needed to know it.
Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah.
I think for me, oh man, I don't know. That's a really good question. Is maybe like never be afraid to admit when you need help.
That's very good.
You know what I mean? When you're
Yeah.
not okay,
Speak to that more.
when you're not doing okay, like the inner healing that God wants to do on the inside of you is greater than anything that you could do for Him externally.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
He wants to
He's more
heal your.
concerned.
He's more
Yeah.
concerned, right?
Yeah.
And like when you're not okay, or when there's something going on, like it's okay to find a few safe people to tell and to get help, get counseling, like
hmm
just be the best. Seek out how to be the best version of how God's created you to be, like now.
Yeah.
Like live life now, get whole now. Do
Yeah.
everything you can
I
to
think
get healing and
speaking to
whole.
that with Enneagram, how does
Yeah.
that work for you? Like how
Mm.
does that fit with the number 3
I
performer?
don't know about Enneagram, but I think you just have to. I don't know. That's a good question. Just put in the work
I
and.
don't think that as a 3, like in that Enneagram, that it's natural to allow people to see any form of weakness in you, and I've
Yeah.
watched you grow
Yeah.
in that, and the road back to you. There's a lot of I didn't want to like just make it about Enneagram by
Yeah.
any means,
Yeah.
but the road back to you is a very good Christian book talking about the Enneagram being
Mm.
based in the monastic movement, and that movement was based on prayer, and they analyzed and tried to think about how people were wired. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a lot of theories on it. I tend to believe that one. I
Yeah.
like it. But with that number 3, like I've watched you, understand, hey, I am going to disappoint, and I am not going to have everything
Mhm.
together. And
Yes.
as you have released that, I'm just
Mhm.
proud of you as your husband
Yeah.
for opening up, because everybody needs a good counselor in their
Yeah.
life. Everybody does.
Yes.
Everybody needs a really good friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love what you said about the disappointment thing. Like release yourself from the expectation that you're not going to disappoint people. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just realize that and just own up to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're going to. You are not a disappointment.
Yeah.
You will disappoint people. You'll let people down, but
Very good.
you're not
It's
a
not
disappointment.
who you are, but we all do it.
Right. So now I see what you're saying with someone that like likes to achieve and likes to be good at things.
Oh yeah,
How do you
and you
admit?
are, and you are. You're good at everything that you do.
Well, not even that, but I was just saying, how do you admit when you're not
Yes.
okay?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes I don't even realize that I'm not okay. You know what I mean? But like, it's
Yeah.
find how can you
You were so cute.
do everything you can do to be whole. Like, you know what I mean? And it's an ongoing, that's a lifelong process. But like,
It
it's
is.
never too early to start getting help and
hmm
seeking help and,
Yeah.
stuff like
Just
that.
don't get weird. Like seriously, some of the people who offer help are not based on any form of reality,
Mm,
and it's just like bizarre. Like what's
yeah.
happening psychologically in that world right now is just interesting to me. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
don't just go to anybody.
Right. You could swing the pendulum like so far, right?
Oh my goodness,
my
yeah.
goodness. Yeah.
And then we don't need more like self-focus in our
Mm,
culture right now.
yeah.
Like so we have a therapeutic culture,
Right.
and but what we're speaking to is if
Mm,
you really need help, you're opening
yes.
up to it.
Right. Right.
Actually, like I think it's healthy to graduate from therapy.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if
That
you're
makes
seeing the
sense.
same therapist for like 30 years, it's not working.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's okay. Like, but every 2 weeks you go see this person for an
Right.
hour, and you come out like heavy. Like it's a little too long,
I
guys.
see what you're saying. Like,
There has to be a graduation period. God has more
right.
freedom for you than
Right.
to go
Right.
back and like just
Right.
relive it and
Keep
rehash
relive
it
it over and over again.
over
Like,
and
there's
over.
got to be a point that
There
when you
actually should be
do,
freedom.
there should be freedom. And
Yeah,
when you do find wholeness, like,
that's a perspective
yeah.
of
Right.
of a man right now
Right.
who is a little bit frustrated with that industry.
Well, I think because things have swung so far of like everything is just blown way out of proportion.
Everybody hurt me, and it's all,
Yes.
it's the victim Olympics right now. My pain is bigger than
Totally.
your pain.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm not talking
I
about
was trying to
like
delineate that,
out,
but you did a good job bringing it back.
yeah, I'm not
Good
trying to
job.
talk about like, oh my gosh, this person hurt, like constant drama. And no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the person that's like hasn't really faced things.
What I've noticed about that mentality is that it's never that person,
Yeah.
yet they're there for every one of those wounds.
Right. Right.
At some point, you're going to have to own up, like, you were there, you were there, you were there, and the same thing
Right.
happens to you everywhere you go.
Right.
At some point, you have to realize,
Right.
yeah, it's not your fault that people are rude and people are
Right.
mean and people do that. Like, that's the world, that's people.
Right.
But in the same sense, like, maybe let's change our approach a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe let's own up. Like, is there
Right.
anything that I did?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, humble
in this
yourself
as
and ask that.
well.
Right. Right. Yes. Yeah, people have a very hard time asking that question.
Oh my goodness, it's always everybody. It's somebody else, somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. It's
Yeah.
like blame, 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 blame.
Right.
Okay, at some point, just start to look inward.
Yeah, own
I
up.
promise you, if you
Own up to
if you
it.
sit at night, and this isn't Pastor Zach on a soapbox. If you sit at night and you just start to think about the things in your life that you need to change, and you say, God, just reveal in my heart some things that I need to change about myself, please.
Mm,
Things will pop up
so good.
with grace, and He won't give you more than you can handle.
Right.
Yeah. He'll just pull
That's good.
something up, and it'll just, okay, I need to change that.
Yeah.
How do I change that? Then you talk to somebody about it.
It's
You
good.
see somebody who's really good in that area.
Mm-hmm.
You study it. You read books on it. It's simple.
Good.
You'll do the grace of
I
God.
love that.
Yeah.
If we would all do that daily, can you imagine? Like
I
God
think we're all
just show
called to.
me.
I do think we should.
Yes.
I do. I've been
That's
doing
so
that.
good.
hmm
Yeah. Show me first, God. Like, yes. I love that.
He'll always show you something.
Yeah.
Because the goal of faith
Mm-hmm.
is to become more like Christ.
Right.
It's not to become more like your pastor, not to become more like
Right.
your,
Right.
friend or the person on YouTube that you
Mhm.
watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's to become more like Christ.
Right.
So if you lean in and say, Lord, please reveal
Mm.
to me the areas that I need to change.
Yeah.
It's actually His will to conform us into His image.
Right.
You know,
So good. I
so
love
He
it.
will with grace.
Love
with
it.
grace. Okay.
Love it. Love it.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Laura, you're awesome as always. I love you so
Aw,
much.
I'm
Always
sorry
have
I'm
good
tired,
having
friends.
conversations. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I'm the only one who notices. I love you with all my heart, dear.
Instagram's
Always
so
great
far
having.
away. I don't think they even see my eyes down
Tired
there.
eyes. No.
Yeah. We love you guys so much. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with us, and
Yeah, it means the world to us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It means the
we'll
world
see
to
if
us.
anybody else
Thank
wants
you.
to say anything. We love you too. Yes. Oh, I think that's Abby. Aw, thanks, Lojo. Love you so much. You guys are awesome. Anything else anybody wants to say? Love you guys. Appreciate you.
Over and out, dear. Love
Over
you.
and out.
Over and out.
PZ and LB.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See ya.
Bye. I'm gonna yawn.
You're gonna yawn. Let's hear it. Let's hear
Oh
it.
no.
Let's hear it. How are the kids? They're quiet.